Welcome back. It's time for us, the very last stretch of the program. And of course, music is what we'll be doing right here on the program. We have some very special guests with us who are musicians. They're called the Alternate Sound. And let me introduce them one after the other. To my immediate right is Roy Obiene. And we have to his immediate right is Stanley Unogo. Sure. And we also have to my left, after Bukola, is Kenneth Ogweji. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
Alternate Sound. Roy, let's talk about the name first. Are you alternate? Or what exactly?
I mean, it's an alternate to your regular music, so that's why alternate sound. So, yeah, that's why we're a live band DJ. So we don't use we don't like a typical live band that you go with singers and backup. So we, as you have your DJ playing, but now with live instruments infused on top of it. So just
so you loop?
Yeah, so you're hearing the original music the way it's recorded in the studio, but you're hearing live elements on top of it.
Wow, that must be a lot of work.
A lot of work.
So if I ask you, how many songs have you scored so far? Maybe like 5,000.
Like 2.2 billion.
This year we'll go like 2 billion.
How taxing is it?
I mean, it's quite tasking though, Sha, but I mean, it's also fun because, I mean, first of all, there are songs that we love, so it's just putting a little twist to it and just making it sound. I mean, we make music sound better, let me just put it that way. Yeah, we make a regular music sound better, for lack of a better word.
Now, this is a unique group. You are recording artists, you are a DJ group, you're also...
They don't sing.
Performing band.
Yeah, performing band, yeah.
Beautiful, amazing. And I'm sure that there's a lot of money coming through there. I'd like to be your PA. But talk to us about how you found each other and if you find soulmates in each other musically. Maybe I'm going to start this time around with you.
Okay, we all met in school.
Okay.
We met this one in 2008.
What school was that?
University of Abuja.
Okay.
Yeah, I met him in 2009, and then we played in fellowship together back in school. So when we met, it was just easy to synergize and bond. You know, coming from, apparently we all had a different, the same, you know, idea of how music should sound. So when we came together, it wasn't necessarily a hassle. You know, it just gelled right quickly. And then we played in church together too. Did too many studio sessions together. Did events together too, you know. So it was in 2015 we now decided to make it official. I was like, okay, fine, let's come up with a name and then start something. You know, because it felt like there was something missing in the, you know, in the music space. What we're doing at the time wasn't, you know, happening in Nigeria yet. So we're like, okay, let's start something. And then here we are.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I know you play the keyboard, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was. I now see you online. I see you have sessions, right?
Yeah.
Now I remember the face. Just the name that I didn't remember. So let us come to you. What instrument do you play?
I play the drums.
You played it. I started playing the drums, but it was too noisy for me. And I ran away.
I tell people that that's the best thing you can ever do.
Tell us why the drums is quite a great instrument for you.
Everything in life has to do with beat. Or let me start by saying it has to do with rhythm. And every human, as long as you have life in you, you have your own rhythm. I tell people that even my mom has rhythm. Your mom has rhythm. You know, and when you talk about rhythm, you now start talking about beats, you know, and that's what makes drumming very, 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 very unique. And without drums or the act of drumming in any music, the music is empty. So if you listen to any music and you're nodding your head, you're actually nodding your head to the beat, to the rhythm. Do you understand? And for you to even nod your head to that rhythm is because you have it inside of you. So technically, I mean, I can say that you're a drummer because you have rhythm inside of you. But you know, when it comes to the
your marketing skills are top notch. I think the only thing I can remember is the calypso, the hi-hat, the snare, the bass. I can remember a bit of it and all of that. So that's why I said I started and I ran away.
You know, but then it's a beautiful thing to be a drummer because at the end of the day, you have your mind, you know, you have that strong control over your mind, you know, because you have your hands are playing two different things, your legs are playing two different things. And you're also paying attention to your bandmates. You're also paying attention to your music director to listen to instructions and understand how the music should go. And you're doing all of these things just at the same time.
And you know, one of the things that I also admire about drummers is the discipline, because the drum is actually very attractive to those of us who love to dance. So
thank you very much. I didn't want to talk about that.
Dance when you hear the drum is amazing. Now, this is the reason I said earlier that I would love to be your PA. You've done collaborations with Davido, Wizkid, Tiwa Savage, Ashake, Yemi Alade, Niniola, just to mention a few. So tell us about what this work entails. And you know, this also means that you've gone all over the world, you know, traveling with these big guys. So tell us about what your work entails and some of the tunes that you're probably responsible for in the music of these big guys.
I mean, to start with, our music director, he's our music director actually. So to start with, he mentioned in passing that we make music sound a lot better. And that's the reason why we're called Africa's premium band. Because, I mean, you can't have another band like Alternate Sound. I mean, you can't have another band like us. The way
blow your trumpet.
So the way we present...
This guy should be your marketer.
I'm telling you.
So the way we arrange your music, the way we make you sound, we make you feel premium. We make your music unique. And that's the reason why all of these musicians won't work with us. You know, we've had opportunities to also travel around the world, if I can put it that way. You know, but then it's just because we make your music sound so sweet and so good. And again, we make you the superstar, even though we are also superstars.
Yes, I wanted to come to that, Roy. And those questions for both of you, the same question. So when you respond, it goes to, how does it feel like? There are people that just want to be in front. Our job is that we're always in front. There's an army behind us as we speak, more who make what we're doing big. But it is our faces they see. How does it feel to be in that kind of space?
So now being in front or being...
No, being behind and making this magic happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, like I said, I mean, you have to really spend time. I mean, most of what you even see out there, like, for example, now, a 10-minute set is not 10 minutes of rehearsal. It can go months and weeks, hours of preparation, trying to correct, and at the end of the day, it just comes out and then just looks at me. So, and then for us, because we're a live band DJ and also artists in our own right, but we also, when we back other artists, we have to step back and allow them shine. So we're not dragging the forefront with them. And for us, we don't have an issue with being at the background, letting the artists shine, because whatever happens, I mean, like you said now, there are people behind the scene making these things happen, and also we can't play the trumpet, of course, we'll give them credit. So the artists, when they enjoy this music also, they also give us their credit, like, make some noise for my amazing band, make some noise for the amazing alternate sound. Virtually all the artists we work with, they always or almost do that.
So Kenneth, behind making noise, did you make all that noise?
Why you call that noise, please
Whatever you understand is what I mean.
Of course, it's quite, you know, attractive. It's quite juicy, if I have to say so myself. But just to add to what Papa has already said, I said everything. I said everything. You know, standing behind them is no issue at all, because you want to get your part. You are already enveloped in the sound. Do you understand? So they're doing your thing, and then you have your own small spotlight where you're holding things together. You understand? So it's a collective effort to make somebody shine, and sometimes they also, you know, share the spotlight with us. Yeah, like he said, give it up for the amazing alternate sound. It's just like that, simple. So.
You make me realize the weight of work that goes on behind the amazing tunes that we all love. We all love to dance to and sing. But speaking of amazing tunes, there are some musicians that I miss them being together. And let me just mention a few. Midnight Crew, I remember Kosoba Bire, Kush, what's that song again? Angels, something like that. I can't remember the title, but they're no longer together. Now, you guys have an amazing synergy, even from what we have already seen right here on set. How much more when you're performing together? I wonder if the tides of the years down the line would not mean that we no longer have one alternate sound.
So, I mean, June this year will be 10 years. So, I mean, 10 years is not a joke. I mean, for any group or for any year. So I feel if we have done 10 years, I believe that we can do 15, we can do 20. But sometimes what happens to group is that sometimes when you don't have an agreement, when you don't have when you don't have a goal, or when that communal argument, because sometimes, and most of all those groups that you see that are no longer together, it may be that may have been the plan. They may have said, okay, let's do this for 5 years, and then everybody goes their separate ways. Because sometimes, maybe individually, maybe me, just like you said, that you see some of my sessions online, maybe there's some things I can't achieve on my own. I may not be able to play piano and then play drums. So I'll say, I need this guy to also play bass. So let's come together. So I feel like for us now, we can decide and say, okay, maybe let's do another 10 years again, and let's do 20 years, and then let's see how far this thing takes up. And then somebody might just be enjoying, and then, like, to be very honest, like, amongst ourselves, we don't have a contract stating anything to even say, we just agree that this is how we share money, this is how we do this thing, and then we'll just...
And you have no split in 10 years. That's good.
Money never cause fights.
Stanley, walk us through your work-life balance, literally. Is it that you work? I'm sure you have relationship, you have family, whether marriage or not, just family generally. How do you balance? Because I know that the small exposure I've had to music, scoring music is not a joke.
It's not.
So talk to us about that balance.
Okay, so first of all, you need to love what you do. Being a musician is not something you do because you're forced to do it. And that's the situation with us. We love music. We are happy. We can talk about music from morning till night, so that on its own has put us in that position where we can practice, we can do anything music. And the good thing again is that we stay together. We have a big house that has all musical instruments inside of it, so we can wake up at any time to the studio. He gets inspiration, and apart from the fact that we also were living together, we also share a lot of things together. Do you understand? I can't say some things here, but we share a lot of good things together, so, and that has helped us with being a musician that we are today, So, in conclusion, I don't think there's anything that is difficult with us having to live our personal life or individual life and the music, because we love the music and it's part of our life, our journey as we go.
Now, you said earlier that you do not sing, but you compose.
We are all producers, actually.
Okay, so what are the components or the potentials that we can identify from your that aspect of your talent? Is it that when you compose...
no, these ones have gone beyond talent. So these are skilled men.
yeah, skill. That you get a singer to, bring it live. Talk to us about that. Maybe Ken this time. Yeah, Ken.
Well, it's not like we've been saying up till this time. So much work goes into it. When you hear our music, you hear synth, you hear bass, you hear guitar, you hear horn section, saxophone, trumpet, and all that. These are the things, these are the components that you can, single out. When you hear Wadami Duro, for instance, the song is just there. But when we come in, there's an addition. This component make it sound make the sound come better, makes it come alive. Sorry, you understand? Make the sound come alive. And this is the work we put in. Like you said, we don't see these things. It's not something you see, but when you hear, when you listen, you can observe. I can play one song and then play another song. And most times, what people tell us is they tend more to lean to what we play. Then when you hear a song, they want to listen to what we have done, the remixes we have done. We have so many of them online. You can check them out. Alternate sound and all that. You get to, to better understand what we've been saying. So it's not just theory. It's practical out there.
Very true.
Yeah,
very true.
Let me come to you, Roy. It's a similar question. I want to give you a practical example.
Okay.
I've been thinking about an artist lately, Cynthia Morgan.
Okay.
I feel that the fire that lady brought to music, we're missing. There's no other person.
True.
There's only one Cynthia Morgan.
True.
I think she changed her name to something.
Yeah.
I've forgotten what. Is it Madrina? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Madrina.
So if somebody like Cynthia Morgan comes, there are two songs I like, Taking and Simatinina. I couldn't imagine that. I saw Burna Boy doing cameo for her. At that time, Burna Boy in Nigeria has not blown.
Yeah.
If that kind of music comes to you, this is a practical session.
Yeah.
You want to reimagine that song. My assumption is that you know the song. Let's take
course,
Taking, for
yeah.
instance. Where do you start from?
I mean, first of all, I try to get into her head to understand what she wants, because most of the mistakes that most maybe producers or composers make is they tend to do what they like and know what the artist likes, and then you might end up. But having worked with all these artists over the years, we discovered that first of all, understand what they want and understand what is obtainable out there, what the market people will appreciate. Yeah. So I mean, for someone like if she approaches us and says, I want to maybe like a refix of this my song, yeah, we might probably just find a way to take the beat and make it sound better and without losing the original elements, because there's a way the song right there, doom, doom, doom,
very
yes, and that kind of beat, we can't lose that kind of main element in that song because that's what everybody knows. So we only build on that. So imagine changing that sound as maybe starting it with like a horns and saying, the song would have gone like 30 minutes halfway. And if you are impatient like me, you don't press next. So you won't have opportunity to even know or appreciate the change that was done on that song. So we maintain the original elements. And like I said, just make it sound better without losing its original component. Yeah, that kind of. So we're more like a cosmetic.
Yeah, like make it look beautiful, as you said.
And it must be relatable, because at the end of the day, you can't do something that people can identify with. So, like you said, we're making the music and you're lost and like, oh, what's going on? No, you have to relate to it. That's why you can dance. That's why you can smile. That's why you can call us again. And
I must put this out there. This was not how it was. I mean, there was. We've worked with artists in the past whereby they came for rehearsal and like, what's this?
I said, we did everything we could. I said,
people have told you about go start to reggae. So
but then when they came, they were irritated. Like, this is
but over time, we had to learn the hard way and know that.
Oh, I get it now. You were trying to be ingenious.
Yeah, trying to impress your fellow musicians and impress them.
I like your honesty.
I like that.
Well, you said earlier that you may have scored billions of songs. So that tells me that there's no limit to your expression in terms of brands of music. So talk to us about that, from reggae to high life to juju. What have you been doing with transforming songs like that in the past? Maybe Stanley should take it this time.
Okay, so I would have preferred if the music director, because he's the one that sits on all of these things. But I mean, to start with, we've done a lot of genres of music, from Afrobeat. I mean, Afrobeat is like, we can talk about it from now to tomorrow, because that's like the leading, if I can put it that way now, that's like the leading sound now, especially because we're Nigerians and it's from here, but the fact that we're alternate sound, it has given us that opportunity to also explore other sounds, to reggae, and also perform with other international artists, with their own kind of music, and all. So, but I'll let Papa handle it.
I mean, funny enough, our biggest market right now is Kenya. So imagine us playing East African songs. We don't even know what they're saying, but like we can go there and we perform there 3 hours, 4 hours, non-strictly East African music. You understand? Wow. I mean, so there's no limit to how far you can go with creativity, as long as you can make it sound good. I mean,
that Papa reminds me of university days. So I remember you're from fellowship. So in winding down, let's talk about AI. How has AI helped or distorted what you guys are doing?
It has helped us, because that's what we've been using right from the very onset. Computers, sound, packs. IEMs, everything is just, right now everything is AI really. So with AI, you've done the hard work, and then you just come on stage and then express what you've done. So,
it just occurred to me that we didn't ask what your course of first choice is, your discipline, because we've had doctors who are now content creators on social media. So are there accountants here, mechanical engineers who have turned musicians? Let's hear.
Okay, so he's a lawyer. He's a practicing lawyer, and he's a pastor.
I studied library and information science.
I also studied linguistics, language science.
So you're covered. I must thank all of you, but amazing work you're doing. Amazing. At least I've seen your sessions. Sometimes you get into the spirit and out of the spirit, and I get a lot.
And they can catch you on social media, by the way. YouTube.
What's your handle, by the way?
Alternate Sound.
Alternate Sound. So you can catch them. Alternate Sound. The great guys. At least I've seen the sessions. So I can vouch for it. Roy OBNS, Stanley Unogu, Kenneth Ugbeji. Gentlemen, fantastic work. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You're blessed.
All right.